Hey again, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Wheel of Albums. Along with my brother Adam and our friend Jack, I am Justin. What we do here on Wheel of Albums is we spin a wheel of the 1001 albums you must hear before you die from Robert Dimery's book, 1001 Albums You Must Hear Before You Die. Then the three of us listen to that album for a week, then we come together and we decide if we think it's an album you must hear before you die. Just give our opinions. This week it's Frank Zappa and the Mothers of Invention with their 1968 album, We're Only In It For The Money. Hi, I'm Justin. I'm the producer-editor of the podcast.
Here's to you, Frank. I was changing it up a little bit for my initial reaction because I wanted to get an actual initial reaction. I'm a little bit excited about it. I expect that I'm going to hear some humor, some sarcasm, some political commentary, some societal commentary, and then some funky beats and some cool guitar riffs. I do know that it's probably going to be a little bit to get my head into the entire album, but I'm doing my best because we're listening to it to find out whether or not you should listen to it before you die.
Growing up, all I knew about Frank Zappa was he was on the Monkees one time, and he did a little skit with Mike Nesmith, and the song Mother People was on there. It's a great episode. And years later, I ended up picking up a few Frank Zappa, Mothers of Invention's album, Freak Out, and this one. And I also picked up a copy of solo album, Hot Rats, which I'll get to that a little bit later. So I am familiar with this album.
My initial reaction for this one is that, I hadn't heard it before, so I was willing to give it a try. And kind of after the first listen, I was just kind of like, yep, same old Zappa, same old Mothers of Invention. It's going to be tough to get through, but I bet Jack and Justin are really going to like this one, and I'm kind of going to be the odd one out, I bet.
What is your favorite line that Zappa has come up with about the hippies there in the late 60s?
I would say the song is Who Needs the Peace Corps, which itself has several parts to it when the clueless hippie protagonist spells out his plan of action.
First, the hippie's going to buy some beads and then a leather band to go around his head,
where he will move in with a rock band, become their road manager.
And then he will love everyone, including the police, who will kick the shit out of him on the street.
And then, of course, we'll get the crabs. And it's interesting to note that this is at least our second album that has made reference to possibly contracting an STD.
There's a tip of the hat to Dizzy Rascal again.
So 23 albums and 2 STDs.
And as biting as that commentary can be, I agree, Jack, on Who Needs the Peace Corps. Zappa is smart enough to bring in a song like Mom and Dad, which is an opposite side of the coin as far as sad, if you listen to the lyrics on that. You can read a lot into what he thought of life in 1967-68. Not so much The Summer of Love. Hey, punk, where you going with that flower in your hand? Hi, I'm Justin. I'm the producer-editor of the podcast.
We'll say that the Mothers of Invention certainly hit the nail on the head with a satire of 60s hippie culture. Unfortunately for me, I'm not a big satire guy. I would rather have a parody. And a parody is, that imitation of the style of a particular writer, artist, or genre with deliberate exaggeration for comic effect. The difference between the two for me is it would be one thing if the songs were constructed fully as actual songs. And my problem with Zappa and Captain Beefheart or Guided by Voices is that they always have the ideas for songs, but they never fully form them.
It's hard to think that We're Only In It For The Money is in fact a novelty record or a parody of something, and to oversimplify that would be a huge error.
So you only get snippets of a minute or two, and that always makes me lose interest in songs like that.
I personally think it's gone beyond a satire. Again, this is just me. So what's he talking to? I think this is not only just the soundtrack to a movie that only Frank Zappa is aware of, but it's actually the dialogue of the movie or the play.
And in that effect, you really have to use your imagination. Frank's imagination is all over the place. And if you're not following along with the album, it could become quite overwhelming. Maybe even uncomfortable. Oh, we're going into another foray of Doo-Wop. Okay, here we go.
He clearly is a wonderful arranger, very involved in the minutia of the editing process. And this is at a time where this is probably a lot of it's done by hand. It's amazing the number of cuts, the number of little layers of things that he's putting in on everything.
When it comes to intelligence, Zappa is in the deep end of the pool, and I'm floating around in the kiddie pool.
I wouldn't bug yourself that much, Adam. He's like that guy at the party that you meet that people are going to be like, oh, you're going to love talking to Frank here. And you probably do love talking to Frank. You might not understand what he's talking about, but you like the delivery and the way that he is presenting things. And that probably, along with the fact he's sick editing skills, is why I like We're Only in It for the Money a good bit.
At some point, music needs to kind of be enjoyed. When you have to think too much about what is going on in a song, it makes you kind of not want to listen to it.
This is the whole audio track of a play, a production that he sees, that he knows exists, but he doesn't share the pictures with us. So simply, it's a play that we have to close our eyes for during the entire performance. Saves a lot on costumes and sets, I'm sure. But when you listen to it and you think about it, there's the Greek choruses, there's the breaking the fourth wall, the callbacks, doo-wops. Everything works if you think of it in a sense of this is in fact a production I'm supposed to be witnessing. You've taken my eyes out.
Dear Lord.
And without my eyes, now I have to try to pretend what I'm supposed to be saying. And it really comes through best. You have the headphones on. Put the headphones on. You'll thank me later.
For me personally, I just kind of feel like it's more of a torture device that you would use if you were interrogating a prisoner to get them to talk. And just tell them, please stop playing this music. So them and maybe Rick Astley would be up there. If we just put it on constant loop and you're constantly just going, please stop. Don't make me have to listen to this anymore.
So Jack, can I come over and the two of us sit down and listen to We're Only in It for the Money together, maybe next Sunday?
This album is only possibly listenable and enjoyable if it's private. This isn't a Kiss song that you could play for your buddy and you both start getting the adrenaline going and you're ready to rock out. This will make your friend maybe not like you if you play it in public and you're staring at him waiting for a reaction.
Please stop. Don't make me have to listen to this anymore.
Put the headphones on. So Woodsy talking to you.
Please stop.
Put the headphones on. Here's to you, Frank.
Hi, I'm Justin. I'm the producer, editor of the podcast. Okay, let's get to the ratings before somebody breaks out in a bout of doo-wop. All right, when we take a look at all the songs on We're Only in It for the Money and scale them from a scale of 1 to 10, Adam with his lowest score yet this season of a 3.21, and Jack with his third highest album of the season for an overall rating of 5.13 between the three of us. Some of our favorite songs: Mother People, Absolutely Free, Mom and Dad, Let's Make the Water Turn Black, and then the Chrome Megaphone, blah, blah, blah. It's whoever really sticks around to listen to that. So Jack, is We're Only in It for the Money an album you must hear before you die?
My score obviously is tilted a little bit on the high end because some of those things are not songs. They're just ideas or breakups in between the transition of the scenes of the play. I respect the album and the creativity and the effort put into it more than I necessarily just sit back and enjoy it. Your auntie has made you a beautiful quilt. It's made up of a lot of interesting little pieces. Some cross over into other interesting little pieces, and then it becomes a whole. But this beautiful piece that's been created isn't for everyday use. When you're fearing the chill of death, I won't deny you that you should hear this warm quilt of an album before you die. So yes, you must hear before you die.
I will echo Jack's sentiment and say, yes, I think this is something you must hear before you die. The production work and the creativity behind it. Not a comfortable listen. It is not an everyday listen, like Jack said. I mentioned Hot Rats earlier. If you want to hear some jazz-infused music, which he does on Hot Rats and goes into more in the 70s, I think you find a nice avenue as far as that goes. Not one of my favorites of all time, but something you must hear before you die. Adam, what do you think?
I'm going to say sure. If you need to listen to an art rock album, why not check this one out? Because all of the ones that are similar to this sound the same pretty much to me. So if you like 1 to 2 minute 60s satire songs, then go for it. My least favorite album of the entire season by a long way, and I'm glad to be done with it.
All right, let's go ahead and spin the final album for season 1 of Wheel of Albums. And it's up to me. The wheel is spinning, spinning, spinning. And oh my, the Lord really wants me to look further into Southern rock. Drive-By Truckers, Southern Rock Opera. A double album next time on Wheel of Albums. What's the ugliest part of your body?
Is my heart, because I have absolutely no love for this album.
What's the ugliest part of your body?
Well, I'm glad you asked, and I'm glad that we can pretend Adam is a doctor of sorts. I didn't know how to bring this up, gentlemen, but I will, in fact, send you a text. There's a disconcerting rash that I've been experiencing, so I'll send you the photos, and at this point, I think that may be the ugliest part of my body, but that's up for you to decide after you hit the medical books and look at the photos.
Please stop.
This is just me. Soul Woodsy talking to you.